Hello, online pipe community. Ethan, Parsimonious Piper here. Today we've got a little bit of morsels for mental manducation. But first, in a lovely little author shape from Aaron, Chronicles of a Pipe Maker, see if you can see if it'll focus on that. Lovely grain around, little carving on the top, beautiful bird's eye. Just a lovely shape overall, and a great smoker. I am smoking a mystery blend. No, this isn't something that one of y'all sent me and wanted me to figure out. Last year at the Richmond Pipe Show, we did a little tour of the Sutliff factory. Right toward the end, I looked over and saw they had big bags of just what looked like scraps. And I asked the guy, hey, what is that? And he said, oh, those are, in fact, scraps. And they looked like this, a whole bag of stuff. See if you can see the layers in that. I asked him what it was. He said, well, it's all Virginias, some stoved, some brights, and everything in between. Wouldn't tell me what it was going into. Let's get lit here. Well, I'm not much on bright Virginias, but there was enough dark in that I decided I'd ask, hey, can I take some home? He said, sure, go right ahead. So I grabbed that and another plug about that size, slipped them into a bag that I had in my pocket. They've been sitting there for about a year, aging nicely. Now with the plug like that, I'll show you how I cut it. I do a cube cut. Just like that, nice rough cut, and a gravity fill, and it's lighting pretty well. It does not burn hot like some Virginias. I detect no casing, so if they've got anything on it, it's probably something generic, like just a touch of honey or sugar or something like that. But it's not. This is not sweet. It doesn't have a heavy flavoring, and it's not overly sweet. A little bready. I wish, for those of you who are Virginia fans, I wish I knew what they put this in, because I could tell you. But as of now, it's unobtainium, and that's all that's left. For those of you who do show up to the meetup Saturday, Apex Cigar Lounge, Apex, North Carolina, sometime between 11 and noon. You can have some of that to take home or try on the spot if you'd like. So today's subject. Now, like many Virginia cube cuts, I probably am going to have to relight this because I'm talking too much. Today's subject. Last week, Chad, Yardism, asked us, what do we put our faith in? This is an open-ended question, and I think a good one. What I really want to talk about today, though, is the concept of this community as sort of an online barbershop. I've talked about it before, and I will probably talk about it again because I think it's worth reminding us that in many ways, that's what we are. You see, when I was younger, I used to sport a flat top, and that required me going into the barbershop pretty frequently to keep that nice and high and tight. Now, I would go in there and bunch of old guys would be sitting around arguing about everything, about religion, about sports, about politics. You really wouldn't think they much cared for each other. Truth is, end of the day, as they left, they all said their goodbyes, wished each other's spouses well, that kind of thing, asked about grandkids. And the next week they were back arguing about the same stuff. They were friends. They didn't have to agree on everything, and they could talk about sensitive subjects without destroying the friendship. In our society, we seem to have lost that. We seem to have lost the ability to simply disagree over something and have a discussion about that something without turning on each other. I think it's important that we do. Now, I know there are a lot of you out there who don't like the intrusion of politics and religion into the YTPC. You would prefer to keep it purely to pipes and tobacco. I'm not sure that's a good idea. Why? Because then we lose that. Most of us don't have a barbershop that we go to. We don't have a meeting of men that we go to regularly. This kind of substitutes for that. Now, it's a pale substitute. If you can get together with cigar or pipe smokers at a local shop or lounge, great, do that. Planning to do it this next Saturday. But we shouldn't be afraid to discuss what are, for many people, sensitive subjects. You may not want to talk about them at Thanksgiving with your family, but you got to live with those people at least part of the year. But we ought to be big enough to be able to discuss things that we disagree about in a gentlemanly way, and to be able to part understanding each other better, not liking each other any less as friends. I'm going to give you 3 examples of guys who put up fantastic videos, and I disagree with each one of them. Those names and channel links will be down in the bucket below. Not going to go through them here. Follow them. Watch them. These are great gentlemen. Wonderful guys. I would be proud to call them friends. I hope they feel the same way. Now, ponder that just a little bit. If you still don't want to watch politics or religion discussed in the YTPC, don't. Most of us label our videos clearly enough that if you like the rest of our content, you can just ignore. Mine's my Morsels. If you're still watching it, you didn't ignore it. But I do hope you'll at least be open to learning more about each other, and some of that includes our worldview on some pretty important subjects. I'm gonna get relit here. This is actually pretty good. Would I buy it? Probably not. I still like a stronger blend. But y'all Virginia lovers, I bet this would be right up your alley. Sorry, I can't tell you what it is. But I can tell you. Think about what we each tell each other, how we get to know each other, how we can still be friends even if we disagree. And with that, light something you like, even if you don't know what it is. Enjoy your afternoon.